The Gambler is a song written by Don Schlitz and recorded by several artists, most famously by American country singer Kenny Rogers. Schlitz wrote the song in August 1976 when he was 23 years old. It took 2 years of shopping the song around Nashville before Bobby Bare recorded it on his album Bare at the urging of Shel Silverstein. Bare's version did not catch on and was never released as a single, so Schlitz recorded it himself, but that version failed to chart higher than No. 65. Other musicians took notice and recorded the song in 1978, including Johnny Cash, who put it on his album Gone Girl. It was Rogers, however, who made the song a mainstream success. His version was a #1 country hit, and made its way to the pop charts at a time when country songs rarely crossed over. It was released in November 1978 as the title track from his album The Gambler, and won him the Grammy Award for Best Male Country Vocal Performance in 1980. Rogers is accompanied on the recording by the vocal group the Jordanaires. In 2006, Schlitz featured in Rogers' career retrospective documentary The Journey, in which he praised both Rogers and producer Larry Butler's contributions to the song, stating, "They added several ideas that were not mine, including the new guitar intro." The lyrics describe a narrator meeting a gambler one evening while riding aimlessly on a train. The gambler can tell from the look on the narrator's face that he is in poor circumstances and offers him advice in exchange for a drink of whiskey. After the narrator obliges with the whiskey and a cigarette, the gambler describes his outlook on life using poker metaphors. "Every situation," says the gambler, "can be played for better or worse. The trick is to recognize what is worth keeping, choose one's battles, and not dwell on losses." The gambler then falls asleep and passes away, leaving the narrator to ponder his wisdom. On the American Top 40 radio program of February 3, 1979, Casey Kasem reported that Schlitz said of The Gambler, "Something more than me wrote that song. I'm convinced of that. I really had no idea where the song was coming from. There was something going through my head, which was my father. It was just a song, and it somehow filtered through me. 6 weeks later I received the final verse. Months later it came to me that it was inspired by, and possibly a gift from, my father." Schlitz's father had died in 1976. The Gambler is the 6th studio album by American singer Kenny Rogers, released by United Artists in November 1978. One of his most popular, it has established Rogers' status as one of the most successful artists of the 1970s and 1980s. The album reached many markets around the world, such as the Far East and Jamaica, with Rogers later commenting, "When I go to Korea or Hong Kong people say, 'Ah, The Gambler.'" As per the sleeve notes to the 1998 released box set Through the Years on Capitol Records. The album has sold over 5 million copies. The title track, The Gambler, was written by Don Schlitz, who was the first to record it. It was also covered by several other artists, but it was Kenny Rogers' adaptation of the tale that went on to top the country charts and win a Song of the Year Grammy, later becoming Rogers' signature song. Although Johnny Cash recorded the song first, Rogers' version was released first. Both this song and She Believes in Me became pop music hits, helping Rogers become well-known beyond country music circles. Although largely compiled from songs by some of the music business's top songwriters, such as Alex Harvey, Mickey Newberry, and Steve Gibb, Rogers continued to show his own talent for songwriting with Morgana Jones. The album was produced by Larry Butler. Its popularity has led to many releases over the years. After United Artists was absorbed into Capitol in 1980, The Gambler was reissued on vinyl and cassette on the Liberty Records label. Several years later, Liberty issued an abridged version of the album, removing the track, Morgana Jones. Manhattan Records released The Gambler on CD in the 1980s. An original master recording from Mobile Fidelity Sound Labs was released on vinyl, audiophile edition vinyl. Finally, The Gambler was released on Rogers' own Dreamcatcher Records in 2001 as part of the Kenny Rogers Original Masters series. In Britain, both the title cut and the album did very well in the country market, but both failed to reach the top 40 of the pop charts. In the 1980s, the single of The Gambler was reissued and made the top 100 sales list, but again charted outside the top 40. It wasn't until the song was reissued in 2007 when the song was adopted by the England rugby team at the Rugby World Cup that it charted at its number 22 peak. Additionally, I Wish That I Could Hurt That Way Again was later a single in 1986 for T. Graham Brown, whose version went to number 3 on the country charts.